Edward VII, the monarch who modernized the British crown. Edward VII, known affectionately as Bertie to his family and friends, ascended the British throne on January 22, 1901, following the death of his mother, Queen Victoria. His reign, which lasted until his own death on May 6, 1910, marked a significant transitional period in British history, bridging the Victorian era with the modern age. Edward's time as king is often characterized by a more relaxed royal demeanor, an emphasis on diplomacy, and notable social changes that reflected the shifting tides of early 20th century Britain. Early life and background. Born on November 9, 1841, Edward was the first son of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. His upbringing was steeped in the rigid protocols of the royal family, emphasizing duty and decorum. Despite this, Edward's personality was often at odds with the expectations placed upon him. He was known for his charm, love of social engagement, and a penchant for the pleasures of life, including fine dining and fashion. His early years were characterized by a series of disappointments, particularly the early death of his father in 1861, which led to a strained relationship with his mother, who held a strict and often oppressive view of royal conduct. Ascension to the throne. Edward became king at a tumultuous time in British history. The Victorian era had been marked by industrial expansion and global influence, but it was also a period of stark social inequalities. Upon Queen Victoria's death, Edward inherited a vast empire and a nation grappling with modernity. His reign, often referred to as the Edwardian era, was characterized by significant social change, including the rise of the middle class, increased labor movements, and evolving gender roles. A new style of leadership. Unlike his mother, Edward VII embraced a more approachable and informal style of leadership. He was known for his affability, charm, and ability to connect with people from all walks of life. His reign saw the monarchy become more accessible, as he engaged with the public and participated in social events. Edward's love for the arts, culture, and society made him a patron of the arts, and he was instrumental in promoting cultural events that showcased British talent. One of the most notable aspects of Edward's reign was his diplomatic approach to international relations. He worked to strengthen ties with other European nations, notably through the formation of the Entente Cordiale with France in 1904, which helped to ease tensions between the two nations. This diplomatic success was pivotal in reshaping Britain's foreign policy, moving from isolationism towards a more cooperative stance in Europe. Social reforms and challenges. Edward VII's reign also coincided with significant social reform movements. The growing labor movement demanded better working conditions and rights for workers, leading to increased political engagement among the working class. The monarchy during Edward's time began to take a more active interest in social issues, and he supported various reforms aimed at improving the lives of the poor and working-class citizens. Despite these advancements, Edward faced challenges. His reign was marked by social unrest, including strikes and protests, as workers demanded political representation and better living conditions. The monarchy's ability to adapt to these changes would be tested in the years following Edward's death. Edward VII's reign was relatively short but impactful. He is often credited with modernizing the British monarchy, taking it out of the Victorian constraints and into a new era of openness and engagement. His legacy is seen in the way the royal family interacts with the public today, as well as in the diplomatic framework that he established, which would influence international relations in the years leading up to World War I. Edward's health began to decline towards the end of his life, and he passed away in 1910, leaving behind a nation on the cusp of great change. He was succeeded by his son, George V, who would face the challenges of a rapidly changing world, including